I'm still safe in this family's house, and I have time to read the exact words from the Poe letter. I've pulled them up on my phone. I'll record them here because someone needs to hear this. Okay, here goes. My dearest Annie, death is near. I hear it whispering in my ear when I lie in this darkness, a mere portent of the darkness to come. What dreams may come? Ah, yes, indeed. My end will come. Soon, I think, my dearest Annie, and I must divulge my secret to the only one I trust in the wide world. When I completed Eureka, I thought I had made my greatest contribution to the world's wisdom. I laid down my pen and nearly collapsed in mental exhaustion. It is done, I thought, and now I can die. I did not die, though. I lived on, and the thoughts continued to come, slowly at first, and then in a wave upon wave. Having solved the mystery of the universe, I now saw faintly and then brilliantly a new secret, one that could make every written word from the days of the ancient scrolls until this very moment all but empty and void. I knew I had discovered the means, the very instrument for moving another mind. What I had come to know through sedulous study and a few crude experiments would make all that Aristotle had taught about rhetoric like the murmurings of a babe. Those means, suggestive as they might be to the cognoscenti, are not worth enumerating here, although I have delineated them in painstaking detail elsewhere. Suffice to say here that close study of tens of thousands of poems turned up certain patterns that could not be ignored. Though, alas, ignored they had been by countless poets, lacking the perception and the patience required to discern them. Having deduced that certain sounds, words, and metrical patterns seemed especially puissant, I undertook to deploy them in correspondence and conversation, and determined that they indeed effectively elicited my desired effects. In particular, the acatalectic dactylic line, especially when containing participles and assonants, was all but equivalent to an electric impulse applied directly to the most sensitive and responsive portion of the mind. I found that I could surreptitiously slip such a line into the most prosaic of prose and secure, with the utmost confidence, exactly the effect I wished. The thought, the hope, of speaking directly to another mind, bypassing the crudities of the most eloquent sentences and weightiest of words, had long intrigued me, and I had made some progress, however slow and unsatisfying, with the raven. Now here was something far more potent, something that could be used with mathematical precision and could, in the hands of a master manipulator, activate men and whole nations as if by the mere pulling of a string. The act of discovery thrilled me, but I soon understood, as the realization of the potency of this discovery washed over me, that I must act, and quickly. To reify this recognition, to commit to paper the very mechanisms by which one could activate the abstract. With the alacrity of a wizard who has at last illuminated the long-held mystery of alchemy, I instantly ignited a taper, set pen to parchment, and began recording every last word and phrase, nay, even every letter, that is, sound and syllable, that bore the power to move minds and limbs. It was painstaking labor, but labor to which I devoted every spare moment, every last wisp of energy I could direct to the task. After 9 weeks of such diligence, an hour here, 3 hours there, occasionally an entire weekend with only the slimmest slivers of sleep, I had compiled my key. The result was a tome of no little substance. 452 manuscript pages, recording all that I had determined to be the direct instruments of persuasion, catalogued by theme and intention. You will say that I was merely following one of my many flights of fanciful folly, driven by those occasional fits of energy you know me to feel, the same that had driven me, like the horse before the lash, to pen my tales and poems. The tome that lay before me, however, was no figment of figuration, no witch's spell of yore, but a code devised with scientific precision, tested under my own hand, and proven to be as effective as a potion composed of the most meticulously measured solutions. No sooner had I completed my work than I realized that this secret, which had lain undiscovered for millennia, must remain so. Indeed, the terrifying recognition of its power nearly drove me in a fit of prescient guilt for what I might, God help me, be responsible for, inflicting upon this world to dash my manuscript into the fire, relinquishing my work and the concomitant liability to the flames. Knowing its potential for salutary influence, however, I demurred, and instead vowed to a course of action that would both preserve and protect it. I knew that I must ensure that it would be available only to minds comprising that rarest of rare combinations, that being the union of perceptiveness and morality. Now I say to you, my dearest Danny, my rare and radiant maiden, that you must help me both to protect and preserve this secret. At the bottom of this letter is a key in the form of... Around this point, when I was reading this letter in the professor's basement, something interrupted me. A sound above.